What's up guys, how's it going? So yes, we're back on the Virago build finally. I know it's been a while and I'm sorry, but that's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes, you know, just you need to take a break from things. Not like I wanted to take a break from that, but there were some other things in a way I need to clear out, and now hopefully we smooth sailing from that point. Saying that, I'm already having issues as soon as I started working on this thing. I tried to start it today, just 5 minutes ago, and the battery went flat because it's been standing here in the cold for the last, well, at least 2 months without any cranking power, you know, well, any power going to it, and I wasn't keeping the battery in the battery minder or anything like that. Got it on charge right now, so hopefully that should be ready in the morning. But I've done a lot of research and a lot of thinking and a lot of thinking and a bit more research on top of that. And I was drinking some beer as well, thank you very much. And I think I know what was the problem. Well, I don't know until I try it, but let me explain it, let me show you, take you down, I'll show you what I think the problem was. Maybe some of you clever heads over there can tell me if I'm right or wrong. Well, we'll see what happens. Right, so about a couple of months ago, maybe even 3 months ago, I can't even remember right now, I put the bike all together, and before all the modifications and in its original form, the bike was running perfectly well. It was running set up with this carburetor. As you know, I'm running a SU Carb over here, and we trace it down, it's right, this little tag over here. It comes from 9069 MG. So it's obviously a carb carburetor. Why am I running this? Is a completely different story. I want to run it, let's not get into the details. I want to run it. It was running perfectly well. It was jetted right for this engine, well, more or less anyway. We put smaller needles in there to restrict the fuel flow and all that stuff. But obviously it's a car carburetor and it works slightly different than the motorcycle one. Well, the principle behind it is exactly the same. It just got some different laws of physics on it. So basically it requires a slightly higher flow of petrol. And the only things I changed since we set it up running on the original reincarnation of that bike was the petrol tap, really. I mean, for the igniting system, for the fuel system, the air, you know, ratio, and I didn't change spark plugs, I didn't change the air filter. Well, it doesn't have an air filter. The only thing I changed of it is the fuel tap, which is slightly smaller diameter than the original one. And I'm guessing that was the cause of the problem, because what was happening after I put the new petrol tank, well, the new filter, the new fuel top back together on the carb, the bike was starting absolutely fine and I could rev it up, but I soon put some load on it and tried to go up the road. It was kind of lacking power, cutting off, and eventually dying. When I was on the side of the road for more than 30 seconds, the bike started up again and I could go another 100 meters and it was dying because it was running out of petrol. That's what I think was happening anyway. It took me a while, in my very clever head of mine, to realize that. I thought maybe somebody messed about with the settings on the carb, maybe changed the mixing ratio, the fuel ratio over here somehow, one way or the other, but no, that was not the case. It was all along fuel starvation. Well, I think that is the case. I mean, I've been reading all about it. That is my guess. You know, I may be completely wrong, I may be barking completely out the wrong tree, and most of you are probably watching me right now and saying, what the fuck this idiot is talking about? He put a fucking car carburetor on the bike engine. Well, you're probably right, but I'm determined to make it work. So I'm waiting for the battery to charge up, and I guys catch you in a bit. See what happens, see whether we can get this thing up and running. Wish me luck. Cheers. Right guys, so it's day number 2 now. Yesterday I was having a bit of an issues over here. One, the battery went completely flat, then the carb needed cleaning because the petrol was sitting there for a while and there was some shit in the bottom, basically. That got all mixed up, so I rinsed that all out, and then I was just I was swearing like crazy. I really was, because the bike was just driving me crazy. I didn't have a spark on the front cylinder. The compression was there, compression was pumping up nicely, but the front the front spark plug wasn't firing at all. It was just the wiring from the ignition coil was slightly bit loose, and that's basically the problem when it started. So it was a combination, a mixture of all things, you know, just what you need when you're troubleshooting a motorcycle. Why it wouldn't start. But anyway, done some adjustments and the bike is firing up now. Obviously it doesn't have a petrol tank on it. I just wired in, well, didn't wire in, put like a temporary kind of petrol tank over here. That my petrol sits in here. Can open this bad boy up. Don't try this at home. And with a bit of luck, I hope it's going to fire up. Or not. More petrol in there. Oh, my petrol tank. Yeah, what I've done over here, I just opened the petrol tap on the petrol tank and dropped some petrol in there, so it's fitting now the carb. Let me take you out. That's my petrol right here, connecting right to the carb. It's running pretty smooth. Right guys, so the bike performs as it should now. Well, it starts and runs, that's the main thing anyway. And it kind of confirms the theory I had that is a fuel starvation. It was the problem of it's not running properly and not the carburetor. Was nothing wrong with that. All along it was just a bit of a gremlin going back in my head, you know. So that's okay, I'm a lot happier now. Now I need to figure out the way of increasing this little petrol flow basically, because that's the capacity of this little bad boy is just plainly not enough. So if any of you have any idea how can I increase that, well, I'll probably need to buy a new petrol cock so the petrol flows more freely for that. Need to do some research on eBay and some other websites what kind of petrol cock I can get there. Maybe just direct one and then inline switch. That would probably work pretty well, but I'll do my research on that. The main thing is we're back on a build and we're going to carry on doing that for the next few weeks until I'm completely happy with it. Take it for a spin. Once it's running and performing as it should do, we're going to strip it down for paint. Right guys, I'm going to have a beer right now. Thank you very much for watching. Have one of those, rock hard, and I'll see you very soon.